Hey, this is Keith with the Speak Hope Now podcast, and we're delighted to have Jahrell here with us today. Jahrell is not only a husband, he's a father, he's an entrepreneur in our area. He owns a wonderful business called Seeds of Faith. And Jahrell, it is good to have you here today.
It's great to be here.
I know you love this. It's not just that you're named after Superman.
It is pretty awesome, though.
But you're doing some pretty super things, right? Tell me a little bit about your background and your upbringing.
Well, I was pretty much born and raised in Chester, PA. My mother and father are from Chester, PA, Chester, Pennsylvania. We moved up here probably about 15 years ago. I was more like 17 years ago. I was 15, 16 years old. My mom and dad went through a little separation, and we came up here because my brother was going to Bloomsburg University.
Wow.
And it was actually a really awesome transition, from Chester, being a crazy city that it is, and coming up here to be, kind of out in the mountains and just relaxing in Bloomsburg. It was really, really nice. My mom always calls Bloomsburg the hand of God. And I felt like I've always been just here chilling in the hand of God, So my upbringing, honestly, once my dad came back into the picture, things were much, much better. Me and him were very, very close, and my dad has always kept me on this straight path, trying to be the best man I can be, and,
nice.
Instilling that integrity into me. And, it's been a challenge going through life. Of course, it always is. That's the way God plans it. But it definitely, it's beautiful being here right now.
That's
awesome. To this point.
Well, God put a very special woman in your life.
Yes, she did. Yes, he did. Her name is Sarah, and that's my beautiful wife. I love her to death. We've been together for 17 years now, and We've been married for 5. So we absolutely, we have been doing the thing, and it's been a challenge, every step of the way. But we have 4 beautiful children, and wouldn't trade them for the world. 4 beautiful girls.
Wow.
And, I feel like God gave me my beautiful girls, to be able to care for them, take care of them, and lead them in a way, that honestly I probably couldn't do with a little boy. I'm very thankful for that.
What are the ages of your girls?
My girls are 11, 7, 3, and 8 months. Lily is my oldest. Aaliyah is my 7-year-old. Aurora, my 3-year-old, my feisty little Leo, and Thea, our last one. She's 8 months.
Wow, you're extremely busy. That's a handful.
I'm very busy. Yes.
Yeah.
Between them and doing this business, and working a side job and helping my friend with his business, I'm absolutely busy all the time.
It's amazing. It is amazing. And so, tell me a little bit about Seeds of Faith. What is that all about? How did you get that business name? And then what is the business all about?
Okay, well, Seeds of Faith is it's a landscaping business. I like to consider it plantscaping, and I'm going to definitely put that on there a little bit harder sometimes. But it's a business that basically I want to be able to build raised garden beds and set up landscaping area for people who want to reconnect with nature and who want to give back to the world, and in a way that's, it's just astronomical, honestly.
Yeah.
And the truth is, when you garden yourself, it helps you work on yourself. You till the soil in your own soul when you're doing it. And that's kind of the play on the soul Seeds of Faith, is that, I want to put the seed in your soul.
Yeah.
I want it to be something to dig deeper into. So, but we do landscaping. We do raised garden beds and enclosures, things like that. Heirloom seeds and starters, also house plants. And we're now kind of moving into this section of wanting to give a little bit more information on pollinator plants and the bugs and different things that are going on outside of us in nature.
So break down some of that for me. Okay. I'm new to all of that. So explain all those things that you just broke down for us, as far as what you plant, how you help people, choose and eventually grow, right?
Yeah. Well, our big thing, pretty much every client I talk to, I try to instill to them mindful gardening. Every single garden is different. It's just like every person is different. Your garden is different. It has special needs. It has special wants. And your area is different. You can only do certain things within that area. So with a lot of my clients, when I talk to them, I want to know, what do you want out of your garden? What do you want to put into it? How much time do you have to dedicate to it? And from there, we can figure out whether we want vegetable plants. And, when we do vegetable plants, I like to push heirloom seeds.
Okay.
Heirloom seeds, they come with a story. Every single heirloom seed has a backstory. One of my favorite is the Amish-based tomato, and it actually started right here in Lancaster, in PA.
Wow.
And it's a very, very popular tomato used for like sauces and canning, and a lot of people use it, but they don't realize that this tomato has actually been around and been taken care of and quite frankly safeguarded for a very long time because of its qualities.
Amazing.
And these are the things that I kind of try to instill to everyone when they're planting and when they're doing different things in the garden, is that we can be mindful in this way where we're saving our seeds, where we're making them stronger for our area.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to landscaping and planting, you know, flowers or shrubs and things like that, there's things like, you know, winterbush and elderberry and spirea that are native for our area. And when you plant these things, you invite the other, the butterflies that host on those plants. You invite all the predators also. And that diversity is what makes nature so beautiful and vibrant. And quite frankly, we have lost some of that vibrance because of common landscape practices that are just, you know, let's throw this on there, let's throw that on there, just flip it and turn it and throw some landscape fabric, you know, but we need to be a little bit more mindful of our area and definitely put something into it that gives back to nature.
Okay.
So that's kind of what we try to lead towards when it comes to setting up any garden bed or any garden spaces, that we want it to fit you. Wow. I don't want it to just be, you know, a regular landscape, looks like your neighbors or better than your neighbors. No, I want it to fit you, your needs, and your time to be able to put into it.
Right.
You know, so it's more trying to bridge the gap, you know, because there is a lot of knowledge. For a lot of people, they don't know where to start. There's so much when it comes to gardening, they don't know where to start. But it's really simple if you just see it as, you know, I use what I have. Yeah. Use what I have to get there. And then we slowly grow. As we grow, you know, you sow more seeds, you become fruitful, you know, and it's a whole amazing little story in itself, honestly. But it has to start right there, you know, in the root at the bottom. You got to sow that seed. You have to be in the darkness for a little bit, and you have to look for the light. Yeah. And you become stronger in that way.
That's awesome. Well, I'm sure in this economy that we're living in right now, a lot of people are probably not able to afford a lot of groceries.
Yes.
And you can go right there in their backyard and help them.
And get something that is actually a little less treated also. There's a lot of vegetables and things that we can get in our grocery stores right now that are treated with a lot of pesticides and herbicides and things like that because they're mass growing them. When you grow it in your own backyard, it's a much smaller scale. You don't have the pest issues that farmers have, you know, or monocrops have. So they're a lot easier to be taken care of, and you know what you're putting into your food and you know what you're getting back.
Okay.
You know, unless you have a really huge garden, I'll be honest, you're not gonna be able to feed your entire family, but you will be able to give your family something a lot better than what you can get at the grocery store.
Okay.
And then at the same time, you're working on yourself. You're showing yourself some discipline, and you're also giving it back to the world and to the earth.
And you know how to go in and consult with those families to maximize what they can gain from those particular plants that grow vegetables, right?
And yeah, it's like square foot gardening pretty much is one of the best things to think of when it comes to setting out your plan for growing. You know, you can put like certain strawberries and, well, not next to tomatoes, but you can put strawberries next to your peas, and you can put tomatoes right next to your lettuce. And there's just the way that you grow these things in a nice little compact manner, you don't need a whole lot of space at all.
Wow.
You know, not at all. And then, you know, you can trellis different things to go different ways. And that's what gives it that beautiful natural landscape. And it becomes an edible landscape. You know, it's something that it has so many different purposes and uses that it's kind of hard to limit what it can do. But it's magical.
That's pretty incredible. And you don't just do vegetable gardens. You can go out and do like a serenity garden, right? Yes. That's kind of what you did at our place. You went down the path of helping us start a serenity garden, and we're kind of building on that. Yep. You know, each and every season, trying to add to it more and more until we get it to a place where we can actually go out and do a counseling session. And that's
what it takes. It started with that, you know, that foundation, getting that all clean and cleared out, and then that beautiful pathway and everything that we have back there. And as you saw, you slowly just add things in. And as you go, everything grows, and you start to create more space for yourself, you know, and it's not difficult at all.
So how did you learn how to do all of this?
I'm still learning. I'm forever a student. I'll forever be a student. And that's definitely something that I hold on my heart completely when it comes to nature, because no one knows it all. But I started learning about 6 years ago. My buddy Dave got me into the garden. It was kind of a dark moment in my life where I didn't have anything. You know, I was working and just coming home. I was taking care of my kids, but I didn't really have any passion whatsoever.
Huh.
So my buddy Dave started a little garden at his house, or at the building that he was working at. And he got me into it. And I absolutely loved it. You know, I absolutely loved it. But then once again, life kind of snatched me away from it. And it was really odd that as that happened, you know, I've realized I wanted it and I needed it.
Yeah.
So about another, I'll say 2 years after that, 3 years ago, I just really dove into composting. And for anybody who's really interested in gardening at all, I think composting is really where you should start, because it teaches you the makeup of soil. It shows you what quality soil is, you know, and you realize a lot of different things. That's where I kind of heard God's voice. And that's where I really started learning about what was going on in nature. You know, I don't, it's hard to explain it as learning because it was just happening to me.
Sure.
You know, so, but as it started going, I read a lot of books. I took a lot of information in, and I just went with it. And experience is the best teacher for anybody trying to get into gardening, is that you have to pick somewhere, you have to start, and then you move from there.
Wow.
And mine started with my compost. I built my own compost bin. I learned how to mix the browns and the greens, and I got it working beautifully. And then I built my own garden bed. I filled it. And then from there, I just started trying different seeds. And when I came across heirloom seeds, specifically the Amish paste tomato, I realized that there were varieties out there that have been around for centuries.
Wow.
And I just started looking at different varieties in that way. And that's when, you know, the love of the garden just kind of came out. I was like, you know, I want to grow the same thing for 50 years.
Yeah.
I really want to have that kind of passion, that kind of dedication to anything, you know. It's like, and for it to be a part of nature, you know, to see people who have like these big giant maple trees in their front yard that have been there, their grandfather planted it, you know, that's something that really excited me to see, you know. And I read a book actually that said it was about only God can grow a tree. And it's just about all the things that happen in nature. Nobody has any control over that whatsoever, but somehow a tree still grows. Somehow it still blooms and it blossoms and it drops seed, you know? So it's like, all my knowledge was pretty much gained throughout my experience, throughout my curiosity of how it all works, you know, throughout my fear, to be honest with you, because I didn't like bees at all. I was deathly afraid of bees.
Wow.
Until my buddy Dave finally took me up there and showed me a beehive and showed me how it worked and let me know, like, they're just doing a job. They're not here to bother you. Yeah. They're just doing their own thing, you know? So
unless you swat at them or spray them.
Yep. Or if you're afraid.
Yeah.
When we're afraid, we release pheromones. Your body actually vibrates at a different frequency.
Come after you.
They can feel that. Yeah. You're a threat at that point. Anything that is afraid will most likely attack. So fear is a very strong motivator for us sometimes. And people don't see that. You know, sometimes we overlook that and try to protect ourselves. And in doing that, we harm other people or harm other things.
But you took your fears, right?
Yes.
And you faced them head on.
I faced them.
And you went down this path of finding and discovering a passion that you turned into a business.
I definitely had to do that. I was at a job for 5 years working night shift, factory job. And while the money was great and I was taking care of my family, being on night shift was draining me, you know, in a different way that I never understood. I didn't realize how much I needed the sun.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't realize how much I was like a day person. Like I needed to talk to people. And well, I worked that job for 5 years. And once COVID hit, I had to quit because I had to take care of the girls. The girls were at home. My wife's a full-time teacher. So somebody had to be home, and that was me. I was there with them. And within that moment of just hopelessness, I felt like I couldn't do anything. The world was just in disarray, you know, and I got to be honest, I lost faith in humanity. I lost faith all in myself. I lost faith in everything, and brought me to my knees. It really did. And when I fell to my knees, I was in my garden. Wow. And that showed me that while everything can be in a disarray, everything can be kind of messed up and messy, you know, God has a plan. Yeah. He always has a plan. And that was his plan, is that when I was in that mess, I needed to find a way out. And I talked to my mom, and I told her, I was like, I started building these garden beds. A few friends asked for some. I would love to come down there and bring you some. And she's like, why don't you just like try to make this a business? Like do something about this. Yeah. And I was like, you know, I'm gonna try. I'm just gonna sow a seed of faith. And she's like, yeah, you should do that. Like, yep, call it seeds of faith. Like she's like, Jahrell, that's awesome. And I was like, I guess maybe. Like, and then about 2 weeks later, she calls me and she's like, you need to do seeds of faith. Like, you really need to do this. And I literally jumped off that ledge, like just started talking to people, I built a bunch of gardens. I gave them out to like 5 or 6 friends. I asked them to take some pictures and share a little bit. And that first year, it like trickled a little bit. And then the next year I got even more garden orders. Wow. And, that's when I threw the seeds in to start selling seeds. And that just exploded too. And it was honestly like amazing. It was an amazing feeling to see, like, I jumped off a ledge and I feel like God caught me.
Well, a lot of people out there might say, well, Jahrell, you must be in a pretty special place. Maybe you own a house, or maybe you own a farm. You don't. You're doing all of this. You're renting a home.
I'm renting right now,
and you're doing all of this on a rental property.
Yeah.
Right. That you don't own. You're building it all together. You're making it happen. And like you said, your customer base is growing.
Yeah.
How many are you doing this for?
Oh boy, I think we're up to. Last time I checked, my wife said 63 gardens.
63 gardens, all in Columbia County?
Yes, all in Columbia County. Well, actually, there's 2 in Georgia.
2 in Georgia?
There's two
How are you doing that? Are you going down to Georgia?
I actually went down to Georgia. My brother asked me to build him a garden space. Also would like to go down to Manassas, Virginia.
Okay.
My little brother lives down there, and I want to go down there and spread out a little bit more. I met another amazing person his name's John Liazar, and he owns Urban Gardener. Huh. And he's pretty much doing the same exact thing. And it was really awesome. Like, cause when I started doing this, he was already started. Yeah. He reached out to me and he goes, I love your layout. I love what you're doing. Like, how did you get that started? I've been trying to do this for years. And I was like, dude, I don't know, man. I can tell you what I did, but
that's incredible.
Like, yeah, it was actually pretty amazing. But
you're connecting with a lot of people now.
I am collecting so many people. One person that I definitely want to mention, and this organization, period, is the Bloomsburg Seed Library.
Okay.
Dave Maxwell runs the Bloomsburg Seed Library, and he's an amazing person, honestly. He's helped me grow and meet so many people, and me and him are working to actually help more people. Wow. We're fighting together right now to work on this nonprofit, but we want to form a nonprofit that we bring garden services and seed saving services.
Wow.
Food to table plant or vegetable garden to table meal plans.
Nice.
Plant identification and planting and tree identification. Like, we have so many different companies that we're working with that we want to bring this together as a service to the world, to people in our area first, but also to the world. Like, we want people to know that while we all have this interest in connecting with nature and doing things a little bit differently, trying to be healthier, there are ways. We may not have those things right there at our palms, but there are ways. And as long as we create that way for other people, they have access to it.
That's incredible. And that's an incredible vision.
Yeah, it's so much bigger, because we want like an entire land where we just grow and save seed and take care of each other.
Yeah.
Create a little commune, if you want to call it that. And just everybody lives off the land, takes care of the land, and we protect it in a sense. Mm-hmm. Our shirts that we wear for Seeds of Faith, Seeds of Faith on the back, of course, but the name tag is Good Steward. Okay. And I want everyone that works for us or works with us or we connect with to be a good steward.
Wow.
In every way, with the people that you're with the tools you work with the land. We need to be good stewards, because now more than ever, we have to give back.
Yeah.
Individually, we have to give back, because so much has degraded over the years that we can't do it if everybody doesn't pitch in. The cycle's gonna continue.
Well, I could even see you doing this overseas as well.
Oh, yes.
There's a lot of people that are struggling overseas, and it could have like a missions arm where you're going over and teaching, and others how to.
Because there's so many other countries that are doing some amazing things. There's a hugelkultur method that we actually use as German, and it's now starting to get really popular and mainstream. But it's one amazing way to start building your garden with less soil, but you're also creating that carbon to put back in the air, like that fresh, good stuff that we need. We need the trees and everything to break down. To go a little bit further into the hugelkultur method, it's when you put down logs, you put down some sticks on top, and then some leaves and a little bit of compost, a nice thick layer, really. And if you do this inside of a box, it's even better because it pretty much just like cooks all the stuff on the inside and it feeds your plants.
Wow.
It feeds the soil as it breaks down. And another way you can do it is just making a big old hill, a big mound.
Huh.
And it feeds the soil and it also feeds the air. We need to do those things so that we have so you have like better quality air and better quality soil.
And we all need that.
We really do, honestly.
Yeah. And you can go in and consult with someone to do that, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's
We're going to consult with them. And right now, I actually have someone, his name's Tyson. He's working for me. He's an avid plant lover. And he's been really like carrying my heart, honestly. As I've been hitting the ground doing landscaping, he's been taking care of the greenhouse and everything. And he really wants to start doing garden consulting also.
Wow.
Him and Reese Modern, she does my social media now. And she's been doing absolutely beautiful, absolutely amazing. Me and her are of one mind when it comes to gardening. And we talk like little girls when we're together. It's like, oh my God, you're planting this, I'm planting that. Like, and it's beautiful to have people like that working for me.
Sure.
That are able to get that message out there.
Oh, for sure.
You know, and he wants to do different gardening classes and stuff with our clients. And she would like to also do almost like a coaching, you know, when we get your garden and everything set up, if you have any questions, you need anything, you can reach out to her at any moment, anytime. And we'll be there. You know, we'll come take care of those issues right then and there.
Wow.
Because there's so many things that can go wrong in the garden. And also like in our bodies, when issues start, you have to get it right away.
Yeah.
And if you don't get it right away and start treating it right away, you then have to go to the harsher methods of, you know, eradication, you know, or then you move yourself to disease. So that micromanaging, that everyday discipline, those little things, they really matter because ultimately they prevent disease. They prevent dis-ease. And so it's something that I'm very, very passionate about.
Yeah.
I really can't wait to get to that stage. I tried it at the beginning and I have to be honest, it was a little bit time consuming. But even still, I still did it. You know, if anybody had any questions, I still let them know.
Yeah.
And now I just want to be able to do it in a more professional and accurate manner. You know, I want to be right there on point with everyone as they go.
And if someone says, man, it sounds like a lot to take care of, you know, and they don't really want that commitment of taking care of it on their own all the time, you do have an arm that you can go in and help them take care of it, right?
Absolutely.
And help them maintain it.
That is one thing that I personally look out for when it comes to children and elderly. If there's a child that wants to start a garden and doesn't know where to start, can't figure it out, anything, I'll give them a garden. I will get them started. I'll ask them what their favorite vegetable is, and that's what we're going to grow because I know they'll pay attention and love it. And even when it comes to the elderly, I have met so many amazing people. One in particular, Mary Jones, I love her to death because when I started working on her garden, she was going through a very, very hard time in her life. And her family, her mom and her dad and her grandparents, they planted the garden, everything that was around her home.
Wow.
And once they passed, she's just like, I need this back. I want this back. Like my mom planted that. My mom did that. Like we all put this here and it's just all dying. And that just made me like want to jump into action, you know, because once we got that done, I seen it before it even happened. But once we got that all clean, she just started crying because that beauty, you know, seeing something that someone else did 20 years ago.
Wow.
Still there, beautiful. Like it's there. It was just buried, you know. You just didn't have enough time to get to it.
That's a great story.
That's what we love doing. That's our service right there, is that when people want to get back to that, or if they need help doing something that, you know, everybody needs help sometimes.
Sure.
If you need help keeping up with your garden, we definitely want to do that. If you want to help us, if you want us to help you maintenance it and keep the weeds out of it, absolutely. You know, we stray away from pesticides and things like that. And we believe that daily maintenance is a good thing, you know, and if not daily, monthly, seasonally, you know, but maintenance is really, really good.
So how can someone get in touch with you? How can they call Seeds of Faith and go down the path of saying, Jahrell, I'm interested in this. Can you come over and do a quote for me?
Well, there's a few different ways. We have our Facebook page. You can reach out to us through the Facebook page. We're also on Instagram, seedsoffaith@gmail.com. That's my email, my personal email for the business. And anything that comes through there, I get it. And if I don't see it, my wife is on top of it right away.
Okay.
Also through our Facebook page, there's the business suite, which you can see the shop and you can see all of our products. You can talk to us about your services if you have anything specific. And we do free estimates right now where I'll come out, talk to anyone, get to know your needs, what you want, draw up a plan. So there's a few different ways. And I mean, also, I I would love to say my personal number, but right now it's going crazy. So we're a little bit backed up on jobs simply because everybody is just willing and ready to do this thing. And
but that's a great thing.
It's a great thing to do.
That's going to bring growth to you and your business, yes, and hopefully futurely your organization that you're doing with this team of people. Thanks for being here, Jahrell. And we want to tell our audience to reach out to Jahrell. And again, I'm sure that you'll find that Jahrell will do a super job for you. He has a super team that's well organized that can go and consult with you and help you and answer questions, but get connected and find your seeds of faith in the things that you do in your backyard or in your community. Hey, thanks for watching the Speak Hope Now podcast, and we look forward to seeing you soon.